Hi, I recently got back from a trip to Boracay in the Philippines, and when I looked on YouTube, I didn't see a whole lot of videos that were in English about Boracay. I saw some videos, but they were mostly in Tagalog or other languages. While this is fresh in my mind, I wanted to create a set of videos about Boracay to hopefully give you some information about things like where to stay, what to eat, things to do, this type of thing. So this video is the first of that series, and this will just be a general overview of Boracay, and from here I'll create some more detailed videos later. So Boracay itself, it's an island. It's part of the Philippines. Philippines, it's very large. There's a lot of islands. I think it's something like 7,600 islands make up the Philippines, of which Boracay is one of them. I think a few thousand of those islands are actually inhabited. Many of these islands in the Philippines are really small. They don't even have a name. So this is one of the islands, is Boracay. Now Boracay itself, it's about 7 kilometers long, so it's kind of oval shaped. At its sort of narrow point, it's about 1 kilometer. So it's a little bit like kind of like a dog bone, a little bit fatter on the top, fatter on the bottom, and it kind of narrows in the middle. It's really made up of what's called stations. So mostly you'll hear station 1, station 2, station 3. Historically, they're called stations because they were boat stations. It was kind of like where you would come in and out. So like a boat might go to station 1, a boat might come to station 2. These are like different ferries and docks and stuff. But today, there's really only one main jetty port that's used. So the stations aren't really used for that purpose anymore, but the name is still there, and they're called stations. So there's stations 1, 2, and 3. There are a few main roads in this island, but there's really just one sort of main road that goes up and down where station 1 and 2 is. And then as you go further south, where station 3 is, then it kind of splits up a little bit, and there's some bigger roads there. But really, it's just kind of one main road. There's one golf course, fairways and blue water. I play golf, and I played some golf there, so I'll talk about that in another video. There's what's called the beach walk. So there are two main beaches in Boracay. There's White Beach, which is the main beach. It's a white sand beach. It's beautiful, and that's really where you will probably spend most of your time. It's where most of the tourists spend most of their time. There's another beach called Bulabog Beach, and it's sort of on the eastern side. I haven't been there. So it's not really kind of one of the main beaches. I think a lot of locals go there, but for tourists, like, we're probably gonna mostly be at White Beach. Transportation wise, there are a lot of what are called trikes or tricycles. These days they're all electric, so they're e-trikes, and they're these small, they're kind of like mopeds with a little seating area in the back. So the area in the back will seat anywhere from 4 to 6 people, and it's kind of a really cheap way to just get up and down the island. So you just flag one down, similar to how you would flag a taxi, perhaps. The cost is not too much. I think going from station 2 up to Fairways and Blue Water, which is kind of north of in the station 1 area, for our whole group, our family of 4, it cost us 150 pesos. So that's under $3 US to do that. So it's not too expensive. You negotiate on a price ahead of time. Most of the drivers seem like they're pretty honest. So, just said, how much is it? Said 150, which is about right. And you just take those up and down. So you can just flag one. They're everywhere. There are also shuttle buses that the hotels run. I didn't see like private cars and things like that. So really just some shuttle buses, these trikes, and a couple of like sort of mopeds and those types of vehicles is kind of what's out there for transportation. It's a big cash society, so you need to have a lot of pesos with you. A lot of the sort of shops and restaurants and places like that are cash only. Of course, if you go into things like hotels and some of the larger restaurants, they will take credit cards. And so I did use a lot of credit cards, but you also have to have a lot of cash on you as well. There are a lot of ATMs, so you can just take money off of that. I went to a money exchange as well, and that was pretty convenient. The fees and charges didn't seem too bad. I think when I used it, they gave me 53.3 pesos per US dollar, and the actual rate at the time was something like 54.1 or something. So, and there were no fees on top of that. So it was pretty good for that as well. In terms of tourists, Boracay is, it is a holiday resort area, so there are lots of people from all over the world that go there. They have a lot of fun. There's a lot of partying at night. It is a pretty lively type of area. You'll have a lot of people from Asia, so a lot of Koreans, Taiwanese, Chinese tourists, but you'll also have a lot of sort of Europeans and Westerners as well. So Australians, New Zealanders, Kiwis, people from Europe. Not too many Americans because it's a little bit far away, but it's a pretty wide range of the type of people that you'll encounter there. The island itself is very beautiful. The beaches were beautiful. Everything was very clean. From what I hear in the past, Boracay did go through kind of a bad spell where there was a lot of pollution, and the waters were really polluted. There was a lot of algae, things like that. So as a result, the Filipino government in 2018 shut down the island for 6 months. So the island itself was pretty much shut down in 2018 from like April until like October, and that really helped the island sort of recuperate, get cleaned up. The waters got cleaned up again, things like that. So and then they opened up for tourists again in late 2018, and then as we all know, 2020 COVID happened. So they're only open for about a year, a little over a year, and then COVID happened and the whole island shut down again. So the island was shut down during COVID for a good 2 years. I think there was a lot of hardships on the island, so there's a lot of buildings and some resorts and hotels and stuff that had shut down. When I went this time, so I went just a few weeks ago, so in January of 2023 is when I went. So there were definitely some places that were just shut down that didn't recover from COVID, or they're under change of ownership and things like that. So but the island itself, it's really clean now. The beaches were just clean, the sand was clean, everything was just really good. So this is kind of the overview. So that's Boracay itself. The cost in Boracay is relatively low cost. Everything's pretty affordable. I mentioned how the eat trikes were pretty cheap, but like even things like food, you can probably get a meal for $5 to $10 US. So we're talking a few hundred pesos, maybe 1,000 pesos sort of would be a pretty good meal there. But I ate at a lot of hotels and places like that, so I probably ate at kind of the upper echelon of meals, and so it was a little bit more for me. But there really is a lot of variety, so you can really spend as little or as much as you want in terms of like food, souvenirs, t-shirts, things like that. I bought a t-shirt there. It was like $3. I think I paid about $3, $5, stuff like that. I paid 150 pesos, sometimes 250 pesos, 300 pesos, that kind of thing. So it was pretty affordable from that perspective. So overall, fun trip, great trip. If you have any questions about sort of this overview of Boracay, please let me know. Happy to answer them. Comment below. But yeah, thank you.